Hi guys, and welcome to episode 5 of Mathematics of Deck Building. And I hope you enjoy the content so far, because today we are building on what we learned in the first 4 episodes. And the lesson of today is very important because it will give you a very quick trick to compute the probability of making construct without the need to go through the 100 hands. Because let's be honest, if you want to compare a few versions of your deck, you cannot really run an experiment like that where you have to spend maybe 1 hour testing 100 or more hands. We need something faster and at the same time accurate, so that the result we get makes sense. And that's what we are learning today. So what is the idea? We are going to use the Hypergeometric Calculator that I introduced a few videos ago to do that. But first, let's recap what we have learned so far. Remember, we are looking at two things here. We are looking at the construct if opponent has no hand trap and construct if opponent has hand trap. So let's say that we have a scenario number 1, no hand trap, right? And then we have this scenario where opponent has hand traps. And remember, by hand traps here we are considering ash and gamma, even though there may be more, but this is just to give you an example. If in your locals or at some point in the future the hand traps are different, then you can use the same approach by changing these hand traps and you run the same kind of procedure. So what did we learn in the first test? Remember, we tested 100 hands and we got this probability that we identified with this symbol, and that was related, remember, to the sample, right? So we said, well, sample of 100 hands, a very long video, and we found out that we can make construct if no hand trap 69% of the time, but with hand trap only 39. That was the long video, right? And then the second one, there was the probability that we found with the theoretical formula. So these were the probability of the deck. And what did we find? Well, for no hand trap, if you remember, we got a range. We say that it was between 60% to 78%. And for this guy here, it was between 29 and 49%. And this was 95% confidence. If you don't remember this, you just look at the previous video, okay? So this is what we have so far. After 4 lessons, these are the information we got. So what are we going to do today? Well, this is the idea. If you want to make construct, you need 3 things in your hand. Number 1, a light monster. Number 2, a fusion spell. And number 3, a Shaddoll monster. So we can assume that if we have these 3 things in our hand, then we can make construct. So, knowing what is our deck, what we are going to do now, first step is we are counting how many outs, in a way, how many ways we have to access a light, how many ways we have to access a fusion spell, and how many ways to get a Shaddoll monster. Okay? So we are counting for the no hand trap and hand trap version, outs, and then with the Hypergeometric Calculator we transform this into probability. So this is the plan of today. So let's start. No hand trap. Let's see how many light monster we can get in our hand. So let's go to the deck now. So we are here. How many lights? Let's see. So here nothing. Okay. Here we have 1 chaos. So 1. Then we have 2 and 3. This will give access to another 1. So here is no entrop. So anyway we can get access to monster and fusion and Shaddoll is fine. So we have again 1, 2, 3. This is 4 because if we have Armageddon Knight, we can get Chaos by sending the Hedgehog, or we can get the Honest Neos by sending the Shadow Mist. So we have 4, 5, and 6 because this will get access to Honest Neos. 7, 8, 9, right? 10, 11, 12. Then we have these 4, so we have 17. Instant Fusion, yes, because we can get Madragon that can become light. 18. 19, Foolish, is like Armageddon. This one I don't count, because I told you I don't want something that does not allow me to make the construct the first turn. Okay, even though it's quite good, and this is about flexibility again. You know, if I just look at consistency, I will remove it, but it will give us a lot of flexibility. And this guy here, reinforcement of the army, yes, this one is also another way to get a light, right? Because with this we can get either Vion or this guy. And then finally we have emergency teleport that can give us, for example, Ghost Ogre or Gamma. So let's count it again very quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We have 20 outs. We write it here. 20 ways to get a light monster. That's great. So let's move on to the fusion. Okay, same thing. We count how many ways we can get a fusion. So here nothing, here nothing. Armageddon Knight, not really. Vion, yes, so 1 and 2 we can get Poly, so it's 2 cards. 3 and 4, you know, the Magistrus Invocation. 5, we can get a Poly. No, 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 no. This one is yes, because we can send the Shadow Mist and get Vion, so it's 6. This no, as I said. 7, Vion. Then we have 3 is 10, 13, 16, 19. And I don't count Super Poly, as I told you, because I want to make contact this turn. So we have 19, Itele, not really. So let's go back and write that we have 19 out of 60, okay? So let's move on to the Shaddoll now. Same kind of computation. So we have 17 Shaddoll monster already. Then what? Well, Armageddon Knight, we can get another Shaddoll, right? We can send Hedgehog and then we can get anything. So it's 18. Then here, nothing. Instant Fusion, yes, we get Winda. So it's 19. 20, right? It's like Armageddon Knight. 21, we can get Armageddon Knight and get whatever we want. And 22, we can get Wendy, because it's a Psychic Monster level 3. So how many? 17, right? 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Total 22 ways. That's right, 22. Okay? Now, let's do the same kind of computation for this guy here. So when we have Ash or Gamma, how does it work? Let's start with the light targets. So the light target, we can do this. Okay, here we have nothing, here we have Chaos is 1, then is 2, and then is 3. Can we count this? No, because this can be stopped by Ash and Gamma, right? So this one is not counted in this case. So far we have 3. Vion, same thing, can be stopped, so no. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Instant Fusion, okay, if we get Madragon and Madragon is changed to light, but then they use gamma, then it doesn't count, right? So if we want to be very conservative, this is also not one. What about Foolish Ash? So no, Rota Ash as well. Emergency Teleport Ash. So you see Ash is really disrupting us. So if we want to be conservative, in this case, we don't count this, and we have 13 outs. Okay, so what we do, we write here 13. So you see that now we consider hand trap, we drop from 20 to 13. It's quite a big drop, huh? What about fusion spells? Okay, let's see. Vion, no. Why? Because it can be stopped by... It's the same thing, right? It can be stopped by Ash, and same thing by Magistus. Ver, same things by Black Sheep. Even though, and this could be an advanced topic, but I just want to tell you now, there is a difference between like Vion and Black Sheep, or things like the Patchwork. What is the difference? If we summon Vion but then it's blocked, then we have used our normal summon and we are in a really bad situation. But if we use the effect of Lunalight, so we discard it and then it's blocked, we still have the normal summon. So in a way, using this is more resilient than using that. We could take this into account. The model will be much harder, but let's keep it for maybe a future video. So again, so far we have no way to make fusion. What about this? No. So we have to go to the spell. So we have 3, 6. Then you may say, okay, this is 9, but these 3 can be blocked by Ash, so we don't count it. Let's be conservative here. And then other 3. So we only have 9 cards actually to make fusion. What about Shaddoll? So we have the 17 that are default, and then everything else is blocked by Ash and Gamma, like this guy is blocked. What else? This one, no, this one. Okay, this one actually, okay, we can get Winda. So it cannot be blocked by Ash, it cannot be blocked by Gamma, so I would say it's 18 out, okay? We have 17 Shaddoll monster plus instant fusion. So it's like 18. Okay, so far? So the first step of this procedure is just to count how many ways we have to get a light monster, a fusion spell, and a Shaddoll. What is the next step? We have to convert these into probabilities, and to do that we can use the Hypergeometric Calculator. That's right. So let's do that right now. The Hypergeometric Calculator, and I will put the link in the description, is this guy here. So how does it work? We write the population, 60 cards, you remember. Number of successes in the population is the numbers that we just found. So light monsters for no hand trap was 20, right? Sample size, remember, is the hand size, so it's 5. Here is 1. We want to see probability to have at least 1. And when we calculate, we look at this number here. So this is basically 88%. And we can write it here. So 20 out of 60 means a probability of 88%. Let's see the 19 here. So very simple, everything is the same, but we just put 19 here, and the probability now drops to 86.3. So we are basically writing here 86.3. And 22, again, same, we put here 22, and we get 90.8. That is pretty good. Meaning to say, if you're not stopped, you have basically more than 90% probability to get a Shaddoll monster in your first hand. That is quite good. Let's do the same kind of computation for the hand trap version, right? So 13, 9, and 18. So 13 is 71.9. Right here. Then we have 9. So we can write it here. And finally 18 is equal to 84.4. Okay, that's good. Okay, so let's summarize. First step is to count outs when no hand drop and when hand drops, okay? Then we convert with the hypergeometric calculator the outs into probability. And then what is the next step? Well, this is a simplification, but the idea is this. Since we want these and these and these, we need to multiply the probability to get the probability of making construct. Okay? We need to multiply these three numbers. Now you may say, well, but it's true, but you're counting something twice. For example, you're counting the fact that Armageddon 9 can give you light and also Shaddoll. So what if you need both, right? You can have some overlapping of the cards, but on the other hand, we also have some situations that are not counted. We have situations, for example, if you remember from the video where we tested 100 hands, we can get construct passing through some upcalon and some things that here is not really counted. It's a rough estimation, but it's still good enough. So let's see what is the result here. So let's do the calculation now. We have 88% times 86.3 times 90.8, and we have 69 basically, okay? So we can write it here, 69%. Ah, surprise, same number. Is it a coincidence? Probably yes, but quite interesting. I don't know why I have this icon of the calculator now, but you know, this is one of the mysteries of the Mac. Let's do the same computation here. Let's see what we get. So now we have 71.9 times 57 times 84.4, I think it was, right? Yeah, it's there. And we get 34.6%. So let's write it here. A little lower than this, but we were more conservative. Anyway, what is important about these numbers? We got here, and we got here. What is important is to compare these numbers with the range that we identify here. And you see that we are inside. So this number makes sense, is inside the range. If we got a value that was completely out of the range, it would have been an issue. But this is good. So you see, this is a much faster way to get a number like what we got with the 100 hands. And we can call this, I would say something like the probability is an approximation. This is an approximation of the probability of making construct if no hand drop. And this is an approximation of the probability to make construct, right, if we got hand drop. That's great. So that's the result we wanted. I want to summarize again what we have done. We first went to the deck. We counted how many ways we have to get a Shaddoll monster, a light monster, and a fusion spell. When opponent has got no interruption, so we can use any way to get the cards we want, like this for getting light, or Shaddoll or Vion to get light and polymerization. Then we did the same calculation with the consideration that opponent may stop us with hash or gamma. Then we counted the outs. We converted the outs into probability using this guy here. And then we multiply the probabilities to get a number. And this is the number that we will be using next video. Okay? So what is the idea? How are we going to use this number the next video? The idea is the following. We want eventually to find out the probability of construct, a single probability, because when we want to compare different versions of the deck, we need to compare two numbers. Like if the probability of one version is higher than the other, then we choose that one. So how can we combine these numbers to get a single probability of making construct? That will be the topic of the next video. Okay? But now you have seen that moving from the hands, right, this is something we can see as a probability between these two. So the first guy was telling us the probability of the sample, so not much about the deck, but just the sample we got. Then with that we could get this interval that is already a better indication, and with this quick trick we got a value that we can somehow validate because it's inside the range, and we can use for the next video where finally we are giving the formula to get this probability of making construct. The formula that we will be using at the end to compare different builds of the deck. So, with that I would like to thank you for watching. I hope that this series is really helping you. And as I said in the past videos, if you have any question, if something about what I did is not clear, just let me know. Okay? But this is video number 5. We will have other, probably 5 videos, I think. But I would say if you arrive here, the hardest part is done. You know, if you understood what we have done so far, that's great. The next videos will be much easier. So again, if you have not yet subscribed, do so. If you like the video, let me know by clicking like, and also click the notification bell so you will be notified when a new video will be uploaded. That will be quite soon. And with that, I thank you again and see you next time.